Alright guys, quick update. We're changing a few things. Originally we were going to save the cabinets that were in the front. They were going to be regular cabinet height, but this customer is a fairly tall person. They wanted to raise the cabinets up, so we're going to raise the cabinets up probably about a 4.5, 5.5 inches. We'll see where it actually ends up being. But we do have a couple of issues. We're going to have two cabinets back to back. We're still going to use the Home Depot cabinets, and we're going to hook those up, but I'm going to have to raise them and build the platform. We also have the water line right here in the center that we are going to have to notch out one of the cabinets, this one here, so that it can slide over our plumbing. And our first cabinet door on the other side here is going to be the plumbing cabinet. You'll be able to open that door and get to the clean out and all your plumbing from inside of that cabinet, which is kind of an added feature for the customer there. The cabinets are going to grow from 6 foot to actually 7 foot now. You're going to have a 60-inch sink cabinet here on this side with a undermount sink, and we're going to do a quartz top, and then you will have the dishwasher next to it, which will be another 2 feet. That'll bring you out to your 7 feet total. And then on the other side we are going to have 3 regular cabinet bases, which will equal our 7 foot. We have 2 of them, I believe, at 30 and 1 at a 24, something like that, which will put us right where we need to be. So what I'm going to do first, we have not cut out all the tile on the floor yet. We're trying to save as much of the tile as we can, so we have a little bit of patchwork, so that we will only have a little bit of patchwork to do. So I'm going to build the frame, put it in place, and then I'll mark the tile so I know where I'm going to cut my tile. And we are going to put a plywood platform or top on top of it to make it extremely sturdy. Now you're probably asking yourself, if I do that, how am I going to anchor everything? The first lumber that goes on the floor is going to be 2x6, and we are going to use wedge anchors into the concrete for that. So let's go ahead and start laying out the wood, and we'll see how it works. So we're going to start with 2x6s. I want 2x6s so I have plenty of room to put my wedge anchors on each side. I've already used my laser and pre-marked my areas where they're going to go. The only ones I've not pre-cut yet are going to be the front section here, which will be right by the plumbing itself. When you're cutting these guys, keep in mind that your bases are always a little smaller because of the toe kick in the front. Okay guys, it's very noisy inside, so I'm just going to kind of give you a quick recap of where we are at. I have built a frame all the way around where the actual cabinets are going to sit. You're going to have a set of cabinets on one side and another set on the other, and they're going to butt up to each other. We're going to have the plumbing come through the very front cabinet on, if you are looking at it, it'll be on the right-hand side, the one facing the living room. So that particular cabinet will be a plumbing cabinet only. The other two will be storage, but that will allow someone, if there's a problem, to be able to open up that one door, go in and fix the plumbing. Kind of a cool little add-on. So what I've done though is I have a 2x6, a 2x6, and then 2x4s as far as runners. We have those on the flat, and that is treated, even though I don't like using treated on stuff like this because it can shrink a little. You have to keep that in mind. But I'm going to use regular birch plywood on the top, so it is extremely level. The thing you have to do is make sure you are level in both directions on the platform, because the platform is going to make it a little easier for putting the cabinets in without having to do a whole bunch of shimming and stuff there. So once I got the frame actually built, I marked out everything and made sure where my tile was at, and went with a tile cutting saw, went and cut out the tile, so that now I could lay it down flat. I can come back and fill in the spots I need to later with more tile. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and use wedge anchors, and I'm going to wedge anchor into the concrete. Now this part of the project, you have to be very careful and have a pretty good idea of which directions your water lines are going. And make sure you don't go all the way through the concrete. Most of these slabs are going to be 3.5, 4 inches. So if you're around the 3.5 range, you're going to be good. You're going to notice that I'm going to have a second bit, and that bit has some tape on it so that I can put it in the hole and make sure that I'm not going below that and into the ground, just because I want to make sure I do not hit any plumbing. So I will go ahead and take you back in, and I'm going to zoom in and kind of show you what we're doing as far as putting in wedge anchors. If you've never put in a wedge anchor before, it's not that difficult. So let's go do it. Okay, so like I said, we are level going this way, and I'm very level going this way. I did have to do a little bit of a couple little wedges just to get it totally level, but I want this extremely level so it'll make the rest of the project really easy. These are your wedge anchors right here. How these go together, they're going to come in a box. This one is a 3/8 by 3.5. So you'll have the actual wedge part, you'll have a washer, and you have a nut. All you do is put the washer on, put the nut on. Okay, this is the bit that I use with tape. So when I drill my hole, I will put this into the hole and make sure that I stop at the tape so I do not go any deeper. And I use an impact. I use the Milwaukee set here, which is really nice. You're definitely going to want a deep impact. This will work okay with this one, but you can get a heavier duty impact if you're doing a lot of this stuff. So let's go ahead, and we're going to use the Milwaukee hammer drill with an SDS bit. And we're going to go ahead and start anchoring in. What I will probably do is anchor down at this end first, then pull my tape and make sure this is correct, because remember I have a gap over here. This is all the water lines, and I'm going to have to cut my plywood to slide under that, and then I'm going to have to cut the actual cabinet as well. So I'm going to start over here first. Make sure you have it on hammer and drill. And I'm going to start here. And then use this to make sure I'm deep enough. And we are plenty deep enough. So then all you do is take your wedge and my big hammer. Oh, it was right behind me. So all you'll do at this point is take your wedge and you'll knock it into the hole. And what I do not put your nut too far down in, because you'll just bend that top and you'll never be able to get it off if you need to. I like to have it backed all the way up to the edge and knock it in. Once it is in, it's just a matter of driving
driving that nut the rest of the way home. That's all you have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that one since I know those are exact, and then we'll put tape on these and I'll anchor one here.